This asphalt violates the bylaws regarding common area alterations.
But I have the approved permits right here. Look at the plans.
The HOA does not approve this.
Yeah.
I woke up to a jackhammer chewing my driveway and the sharp smell of fresh asphalt pouring through my bedroom window. It was 6:12 a.m., cold air sneaking through the cracked frame, and flashing orange lights from a work truck were bouncing off my ceiling. At first I thought it was city work, some random road patch. Then I saw where they were pouring the black strip. Not the street. My driveway. The Cul De Sac I'd parked in for 10 years now had a fresh gray stake and a neon string running exactly 6 feet into my property, right up against my front bumper. By 9:00 a.m., the asphalt cooled, a man in a yellow vest snapped a photo, and an HOA notice went on my door, immediate violation. Daily fine. Remove vehicle from HOA easement. That's when I read the letter and saw the line that spelled out my week from hell. Our HOA paved 6 extra feet into my Cul De Sac driveway and fined me daily, then I filed the injunction. They claimed they had reclaimed community parking space and that my truck now sat on common property. The fine started at $50 a day, increasing to $100 after a week. My coffee went bitter in my mouth as I stared at the new white paint line cutting through my driveway. I checked my deed, my plat map, even the old survey pin still in the ground. The new asphalt sat squarely on my land. It didn't matter. The first fine email hit my phone before lunch. I tried to be the calm grown-up. I walked to the clubhouse that night, the air chilly and still smelling like tar. Inside, the board sat at a long table, little nameplates, plastic water cups, our president Karen in a bright floral blazer. I laid my old survey on the table and said, "This is my driveway. You can't just take it." She didn't even look down. She told me the board had voted, that the street was crowded, that my big truck was an eyesore. I asked for the vote record. She said, "It's internal." Neighbors sat in folding chairs, eyes on the floor. One guy met my eyes for half a second, then looked away like he was scared his grass would get cited next. That night, sitting on my front steps, staring at the new paint line under the street lamp, my anger turned into something sharper. Timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. False trespass call. Karen had already called the police on my brother when he helped me move in. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. I promised myself I would not slam doors or key cars or do anything stupid. I told myself out loud, I will only use proper channels. So I got to work. I pulled my deed. I pulled the HOA bylaws. I ordered a fresh survey. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I made a folder on my desktop called HOA War, and every single day they charged me another fine, I added the notice to that folder like another bullet point on a report. The real flip started at the county building, under humming fluorescent lights, with a board clerk who'd clearly seen all kinds of HOA drama. I asked for every filing our HOA had made in the last 5 years. When she came back from the back room, the file landed with 63 pages. In those pages were the original plat, the street dedication, and a tasty little detail: the Cul De Sac bulb had a fixed radius. No changes allowed without a city council vote and written consent from affected owners. In my state, you cannot change a property line without the owner's signed consent. There was no consent from me. My lawyer, a soft-spoken guy in a gray suit, looked over the pile and just nodded once. Within a week, on May 3, 2024, we filed for a temporary injunction against the HOA to stop enforcement and get my driveway back. The payoff came at the next open HOA meeting, because court dates move slow but temporary orders move fast. The room was packed. Neighbors who never showed up were suddenly in the back with phones out, pretending to check texts but already recording. My truck sat parked exactly where it had always been, nose over the ugly new asphalt. A sheriff's deputy walked in right after Karen called the meeting to order and handed her a thick envelope in front of everyone. You could hear the plastic cups crinkle. My lawyer stood beside me and read the key line from the judge: all fines against me were frozen, and any further attempts to enforce the bogus easement could be contempt of court. Then he added the part Karen really hated. The court had reviewed the plat and found a prima facie encroachment by the HOA onto my property. Translation for the room: they were the ones trespassing. People actually laughed. It started as a little snort from the back row, then someone said loud enough for the mic to pick up, "So the HOA owes him rent now?" Another neighbor whispered, "Live stream this," and tilted her phone so the comments on her post started popping up. One said, "That's what you get for power tripping, Susan," even though her name was Karen. The next day, the story hit our local Facebook group and then a subreddit that loves HOA disasters. Screenshots of the painted line and the court order were everywhere. Someone even made a meme of my driveway with the caption, "Behold, the land Karen lost." The same neighbors who wouldn't meet my eyes a month ago were sending me links and laughing at the comments. When the city inspector came out, it turned from funny to expensive for the board. He walked the Cul De Sac with a clipboard, tapped his boot on the new asphalt, and shook his head. The city had not approved any change. The board had skipped every permit. The inspector wrote them up for unauthorized work in the right-of-way and told them they were on the hook to remove the extra 6 feet or face daily fines from the city. At the next special meeting, the lawyer for the HOA, not my quiet guy but their red-faced one, announced that all my fines were cancelled, my legal fees would be covered, and the board president was stepping down for personal reasons. Everyone knew Karen was being shoved out to save the rest of them. A month later, I woke up to the sound of machines again, but this time I smiled. The crew came back and ground up the extra 6 feet of asphalt, the smell of it rising in the warm air as the paint line disappeared. My driveway was my driveway again. Kids from the Cul De Sac dragged out chalk buckets and started drawing right where the fake easement used to be. One of them drew a big crown and wrote owner above it and handed me a piece of chalk like I deserved it. I'm not a hero. I just got tired of being pushed around and decided to learn the rules better than the people abusing them. Now, whenever a new neighbor asks about the HOA, I point to the smooth edge of my driveway and tell them the whole story. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.